There it is.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the Whitehall City Council meeting of December 7th, 2021. If we could all please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And as we rise for a moment of silence this evening, I'd like us to give special thought to those brave soldiers that lost their lives 80 years ago today in Pearl Harbor. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Aug, would you please call roll?
Peck.
Present.
Morrison.
Present.
Bailey.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Elmore.
Present.
Coniston.
Present.
Cantor.
Present.
President Clark.
Present. At this time, I'll take a motion for the approval of the November 16th, 2021 agenda and regular meeting minutes.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Coniston, second by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call the roll.
Heck.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore. Yes. Coniston. Yes. Cantor.
Yes. The minutes have been approved. This now brings us to our first full public of the evening, and just to remind everyone that the rules of council state that when you come forward, you have 3 minutes, and you need to state your name and address for the record. With that said, first off, Ms. Aug, is there anybody that
Yes, I have one.
could you please read that?
Jeff Thoburn, 466 Maplewood Avenue, Whitehall, Ohio. When, in addition to existing within the stark reality that Whitehall's government has mapped out virtually 1/2 of this city's terrain as TIF district tax giveaway zones, I next learn of an order to get in the zoning code, exclamation point. And then at the Get in the Zone town hall partial event, I'm fed information about how only 2% of the city's residents work inside the city and thus pay no income tax directly. Well, this city's economic development arm, which flaunts a sell point of and for density embracing, would appear to me as just too dense to understand that luring income-based renters into habitating 30-year tipped up multi-story recreational econo boxes is about as logically fruitful and feasible economic development as in expounding so profusely during the Get Zoned Up meeting about the old man living in the house at 3791 East Broad. He won't sell, so some trivial entity can utilize his property to erect a non-job creating eye candy structure to feed the look another business egos to the Whitehall means business personal resume builders. Thanks for your time, and thanks to each and every counselor for not having the courtesy or time to click auto reply to the short email that I sent to each of you last week. Good luck in 2023.
Thank you. Would anybody in the audience like to come forward for full public?
It won't be my last name. Nobody wants me to talk tonight.
Oh, okay. He teased me. We will then move on to our standing committee reports. Last we met on November 23rd. Administration and Financial Management, Chairperson Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Administration and Financial Management did meet last November 23rd, and Julie has our minutes on file, and will meet again next week sometime after 6:30, right here.
Thank you. Community and Elder Advocacy, Chairperson Elmore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Community and Elder Advocacy did meet. Our minutes are on file. We'll meet again next Tuesday, 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Community Standards and Enforcement, Chairperson Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Community Standards and Enforcement met last November 23rd. Minutes are on file. We will meet again next week sometime after 6:30.
Very
Next
good.
Tuesday sometime.
Economic Development, Chairperson Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. Economic Development also met November 23rd, our minutes on file, and we'll meet again next week sometime after 6:30.
Thank you. Infrastructure, Maintenance, and Services, Chairperson Heck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Infrastructure, Maintenance, and Services met on November 23rd. We have no drafts of pending legislation. Our minutes are on file.
Thank you. Public Safety, Chairperson Coniston.
Thank you, President Potter. Public Safety also met on the 23rd. I think that was a couple of weeks ago. Our minutes are on file. We'll meet again Tuesday, who knows what time, around 6:40 probably.
I will make a note of it. And Parks and Recreation, Chairperson Cantor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Parks and Recreation met on the November 23rd. Our minutes are on file. We do have one piece of legislation tonight on the agenda, Ordinance 131. We'll meet again next week sometime after 6:30.
Very good. Thank you. Official reports. Mayor Magner.
Yes, I would just like to inform City Council that the administration has tentative contracts, union contracts with the police FOP union and also with the IAFF, which is our fire union. And those, at this time, I have not heard if they've been ratified or not. And so, you know, when those are ratified, then I'll do the legislation, bring them to council and ask for passage on first reading, because those are pretty timely. Also, we have started negotiations with the CWA, and so far things are going well, so I just wanted to give you an update on those. Also, I would just like to say thank you to all the employees who worked so hard on Winter Wonderland. It was a great success, and Kelsey, you and Casey did a great job. And I would just like to thank all those that were involved for making it such a nice event for all those who decided to come out. It was a little bit chilly that night. I'd also like to talk about civility. Yes, all of us up here are public officials. We all have families, and we all have friends. And sometimes civility is lacking when it comes to social media. And I just want to say, let's think, ask all of you to think, and all those who are listening tonight to think before they post. Remember, we all have families, and to make fun of someone's last name is wrong. We can't help what our last name is. It's what it is. And also to insinuate something bad about another person that is not there. I work with some very, very outstanding people here. And I work with them on a daily basis. For example, Mr. Bivens is probably the most godly man I know, and I get very good advice from him. I may not always agree with him, but I get good advice. And you know what? I try to listen. And when people give me advice, sometimes I don't listen the first time or the second time. But you know what? When I hear the same thing over and over again, I try to take that into my heart. And I know many people can't see what's in my heart because you don't know me, and I don't know you. But we're all a community, and we're all here for the same reason, because we love Whitehall. And I would just ask that all of us take a breath and just try to remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up Whitehall, not tear it down. So And I'm sure I'll probably get slapped around for my little speech as well, but sometimes I just feel like things need to be said, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mayor. Very well said. City Attorney Bivens.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council. Thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. From the City Attorney's Office, first of all, I cannot believe that we're almost at the end of this year. We've successfully prosecuted 3,200 cases up to this point, so I will have a year to date once we finish this year. But in the month of November, we successfully prosecuted 339 cases. Out of those 339 cases, only 48 of those were committed by Whitehall residents. That's about 14%. We're tracking totally throughout the year, same number, about 14% of all cases in the city of Whitehall are committed by Whitehall residents. And so I anticipate by the end of December, that is probably going to be about the same trend. We have some things in the pipeline with respect to the crime analysts in order to break it down and break down where certain crimes are happening within the city, even broken down by what street, so that we can do some targeting and maybe do some type of intervention programs or intervention services so that we can reduce those numbers. I know one of the things that City Council's aware of, as well as the community, one of my passions, is the reduction of domestic violence cases. Unfortunately, throughout the nation, the pandemic has created just a perfect storm, so to speak, as it relates to domestic violence. So it's not just Whitehall, it's happening everywhere, but just because it's happening everywhere doesn't mean we can't do something about it. So at least in the going into 2022, it's my office focus, and my staff is aware. We're going to really try to put our hand to the plow and do something on a positive level so that we can reduce the amount of domestic violence cases going into 2022. And maybe next year, when I'm making this same statement, I can successfully say we've reduced it by 5%, 10%, or maybe make the big bold claim and say we had no domestic violence in Whitehall in 2022. Now, wouldn't that just be awesome? But Mayor, thank you for your comments. One of the things that I always try to do, and one of my favorite Psalms is, blessed is the man that walks not after the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And that is one of my mainstays, the thing that I focus on, that keeps me guided and keeps me focused. And I really appreciate your comments. And sometimes you just don't know that people are paying attention on a positive level because you hear so much negative at so much. But thankfully, everybody here that's in council and everybody that came out tonight loves this city and wants the city to be positive and move forward in a positive way. And together, I believe we all will each add a measure in making that happen. So thank you, Mr. President, members of council, and everyone in the public.
Thank you. Auditor Dan Miller is not with us this evening, nor is City Administrator Woodruff, as well as our Director of Public Safety, Van Gregg. We do have our Treasurer, Steve Quinzel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not have an official report tonight, but I did want to let you all know of an incident last weekend in the neighborhood behind my house. We had a domestic disturbance at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we ended up having to call 911. They routed us over to Whitehall's Police Department, and they responded in under 60 seconds.
Wow.
There were 2 cruisers there. Turns out everybody's okay. It was just a domestic issue, but we didn't know that at the time. But I was just absolutely flabbergasted with the speed that they were on the scene. So everybody should rest assured that Whitehall's Police Department is very effective and very responsive.
Thank you. The following official reports have been filed in the council office since the last meeting, and that would include the Treasurer's Investment Report for October 2021, the Treasurer's Activity by Fund Report for October 2021, the Treasurer's Fund Reconciliation Report for 2021. Under Communications, Petitions, and Claims, we have two items. The agenda for the December 9th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting, as well as the minutes for the November 4th, 2021 Planning Commission meetings. Ms. Aug, will you please call roll as to whether each member of council was given a copy of each item of legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting, including any add-on legislation?
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to legislation, we have got no legislation for third reading. We have several items under second reading, all of which are title only. First one being Ordinance 113, 2021, amending Chapter 541 of the City of Whitehall Codified Ordinances entitled Offense Against Persons, adding source of income to provide fair housing opportunities for individuals and their families, regardless of their source of income, to pay such accommodations. Also by title only is 114, 2021, making appropriation for the current general fund 101 expense street 201 expenses and state highway materials 211 expense during the period from January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022 in the total sum of $37,919,628 and declaring an emergency. Also under title only is Ordinance 115, 2021, authorizing and approving the following changes to 161.38 and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 119, 2021, also title only, making appropriation for certain special revenue, internal service and fiduciary accounts for the calendar year 2022 in a total sum of $15,746,287.28 and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 121, 2021 will be read by title only, and there will be a Planning Commission meeting on December 16th with a public hearing scheduled for December 21st, 2021, which is amending Section 122.02 titled Zoning Map and Districts and creating 1123.11 titled Commercial Corridor Zoning Districts and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 122, 2021 will be title only. This also has a Planning Commission meeting of December 9th, and this is accepting the addition of parcel 090-005-410 and parcel 090-001-974 to Lot 7, accepting the subdivisions of Lot 7 to the office at Norton Crossing. Under first reading, we have Ordinance 127, 2021, which will be read by title only. This too will go to Planning Commission for their meeting on December 9th with a public hearing of January 4th, 2022. And it reads, amending the zoning map attached to Chapter 1122 of the 1970 Codified Ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, and is subsequently amended, change the zoning property located at 3540 East Main Street and 739 and 721 Maplewood Avenue, parcel numbers 090-002-122, 090-001-890, 090-003-640, 090-001-900, 090-002-485, 090-003-638, and 090-008-240 from R3 Residential District and General Commerce District, GCD, to A2 Apartment District, property owned by Mammoth Company Incorporated, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 128, 2021 will also be read by title only. This too is going to Planning Commission meeting on December 9th with a public hearing slated for January 4th, 2022. And that is amending the zoning map attached to Chapter 1122 of the 1970 Codified Ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, and as subsequently amended, allowing a special permit under 1123.06 C7 to allow apartment dwelling structure containing more than 12 dwelling units on the property located on 3540 East Main Street and 739 and 721 Maplewood Avenue, parcel numbers 090-002-122, 090-001-890, 090-003-640, 090-001-900, 090-002-85, 090-003-638, and 090-008-240, property owned by Mammoth Company, and declaring an emergency. Ordinance 129, 2021, also by title only, and this will be going to Planning Commission on December 9th with a public hearing on January 4th, 2022. Amending the zoning map attached to Chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, and have subsequently amended allowing a special permit under 1123.10C1 to allow Oleo Development Group to operate a restaurant establishment with a drive-through on property located at 3661 East Main Street, parcel 090-008-372-000, owned by SRI Real Estate Properties LLC. And ordinance 131, 2021 will be read by title only. It too is going to the Planning Commission on December 9th with a public hearing scheduled for January 4th, 2022. Amending the zoning map attached to Chapter 1122 of the 1970 codified ordinances of the City of Whitehall, Ohio, and is subsequently amended allowing special permit under 1123.10C1 to allow MS Consultants, Inc. to operate a restaurant establishment with a drive-through on property located at 3646 East Broad Street, parcel 090-000-193-000, owned by Gilligan Company, LLC. With that brings us now to Ordinance 131, 2021, approving and making an appropriation transfer in the amount of $11,000 from various expense accounts to the Rec New Equipment Expense Account 101-756,000 and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 131, 2021, and move for the suspension of all the rules, please.
Second?
Mr. Cantor, with a second by Ms. Coniston, has introduced ordinance 131, 2021, and requests the suspension of all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt, please.
Second?
A motion to adopt by Mr. Cantor, second by Ms. Coniston. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Ordinance 131, 2021 has been adopted. We have Resolution 33, 2021, which will be read by title only, appointing a member to the Board of Directors of the Jefferson Township Whitehall Joint Economic Development District. That now brings us to Resolution 34, 2021, levying special assessments for property maintenance at several locations in the City of Whitehall, Ohio, addresses and parcel numbers as provided within the text of this resolution, certifying such costs to the Franklin County Auditor to be assessed against such property and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Resolution 34, 2021, and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second?
Mr. Rodriguez, along with the second by Mr. Cantor, have introduced Resolution 34, 2021, with a request to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Cantor. Any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Resolution 34, 2021 has been adopted. Our final piece of legislation this evening is Resolution 35, 2021, resolving to approve then and now certificates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Resolution 35, 2021, move for suspension of all rules.
Second?
Mr. Bailey has, with a second from Mr. Rodriguez, has introduced Resolution 35, 2021 with a request to suspend all rules. Is there any discussion? Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
The rules have been suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adopt.
Second?
Motion to adopt by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Rodriguez. Any discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston.
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
Resolution 35, 2021 has been adopted. This now brings us to our second full public, and I know some folks came in late, so I'll just review this, that we certainly invite anybody to come forward, and according to the rules of council, you need to state your name and address, and have up to 3 minutes to talk. Okay. Seeing nobody, I will then move on to Community Date Board.
All eyes are on me. I do have something. I had a call yesterday from a representative at the North Pole that has asked that we go ahead and we move our meeting with Santa to Beechwood Elementary School. So the parade route will now be December 18th, still at noon, but we will be going from Holy Spirit to Etna Street now, and then Etna Street to Beechwood Elementary School. So everybody get ready to come on out and see Santa and get a candy cane and have a good time.
So that's a parade you're gonna have down here on the road, yeah, at the
Oh,
Beechwood?
it's,
Oh,
you know,
what a great
it's a
time.
little something going on there is what I've been told.
Nice little holiday, Christmas parade, that's really nice.
Well, that's something when the person at the North Pole.
Right? Get a
You are
representative, a come
Yeah, that's awesome. You got some pull.
on. I'm not certain if it was Mrs. Claus, but it might have
Maybe.
been.
That's very impressive. Is there anything else for Community Date Board?
There will be a swearing in of the newly elected and re-elected officials, all the Ward 1 members and also the city treasurer on the 21st here at 5:45. And I'm just letting everyone know if they want to come, they can witness this, and everyone's invited to come. And let's just hope we're not going to have 600 people here, because then I may have a problem with the fire chief.
If there's nothing further, I'll move on to poll council. Ms. Heck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for everybody watching at home. Thank you for everybody that came in. It's nice to see so many new faces. That's all I have.
Very good. Mr. Morrison.
I also would like to thank everyone who tuned in and watched us, and really appreciate everyone that did come out in this cold weather. We enjoy seeing you back there, and would like to see you every week. Everybody have a good week, and be safe.
Thank you. Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I just would like to say, as somebody who's lived in Whitehall for over 60 years, I remember the days when Whitehall was a suburb, that when you went out of town, everybody went, "Oh, you're from Whitehall." I also remember when the decline happened, but I can say this, that under Mayor Maggard's administration, at least for the last 10 years, I think what we're seeing through the efforts of her administration is a rebirth. And there's a lot that has improved around here, and if you don't change with the times, we end up like we were in the 80s and early 90s, and I'm happy to say I'm glad to see that that's not happening today, because a lot of people moved out of Whitehall at that time. People that we grew up with, they're gone. And for those of us that have stayed here, what we're seeing today is really a rebirth, and it's supported by city services, police and fire. You can't beat it. I know when I had an issue at my house, I was in Mount Carmel East within a half hour, and I had a stroke, and I think that just because of their service, and they were able to get me to the hospital quick enough and get the super clock buster in me. I'd like to say I'm not impaired, but there are a lot of people who argue with my statement on that. But you can't beat this location, and, you know, if you don't change with the times, and, you know, these tip zones and, you know, the work that the development department's doing in attracting businesses, if you don't do what all the other communities are doing, you die. And I think Whitehall is alive again, and I'm proud to be here, and I'm glad I stayed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Bailey, very well said, and thank you. I think you echo a lot of people's feelings as well. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excellent remarks, Bob. I mean, it's so true. So, Mr. President, thank you for your recognition of the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Obviously, as we get older, that just seems to be a little further forgotten. You don't see as much as we used to about it, but it's still it was a very big day in the day of this country, and you know, from that point we obviously moved forward, and everyone knows the history, so I don't have to belabor that. But Steve, what you said, and what Bob echoed, fire and safety here in Whitehall, second to none. I've always said that, second to none, hands down. So, and I think we've all experienced or know somebody who's needed them or whatnot. So, and then the last thing, Mayor, thank you so much for your remarks on the civility. You really were on point there. To say that Michael is a man of God, is a godly man, is an understatement. He's one of the finest men I've ever known, and I thank God that I have that pleasure of knowing you. You are an asset to this board, to this body here. You're an asset to this community. But beyond that, Mayor, you are a woman of God yourself.
Yes, she is.
I've known you since 1989, and the day we moved in next door to you, you all came over and you guys were so welcoming and whatnot, and that never changed. And there's so much that you do that people don't know. I can attest to a few things myself. But there's people that go, people who have not had to go hungry because of you. There's people who've not had to go without rent paid because of you. There's so many people that have been so blessed by you. So the folks that besmirch you and who, you know, who choose to, for whatever hateful reasons, put you down and, you know, say what they will about you, you know, they say there's, you know, karma, whatever, but the fact is, I know who you are, and so do so many other people in this community. God love you, Mayor.
Thank you.
May you have many, many years forward, even beyond your role,
Thank you.
to continue to do the beautiful things that you do for humanity in and outside this community.
Here, here, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Chris, also very nicely said. Ms. Elmore,
Thank you, Mr.
top
President.
that.
Well, just wait. No.
I met you, okay, fair enough.
No. First of all, I want to thank everybody that is in attendance and also that is viewing on Facebook or social media. Also want to thank Mr. Jeff Thoborn for his email and to let him know that I did respond to his email. And I would like to thank you, Mayor, for your comments on civility, which has been a word that's been absent from this country, from the state, from this local community for some time. And it takes all of us to restore that, each and every one of us. And when we lack civility, it causes a problem with everybody. So one of the things that we probably need to work more at is being kind to one another. The other thing that I'd like to say is that I love humanity, and that's a good word that you used, humanity. I love humanity. I may not like some of the behaviors, but I love people, which is why I'm doing the job that I'm doing today. Also, Councilor Bailey, thank you for your words, and it was heartfelt, and I know that you mean that. Everybody that is up here didn't just get elected because they didn't love this city. They did it because they love this city, they love the people, they love the fact that it was moving forward. They did not want a dying city, and they wanted a growing community, which is why we've all taken this role very, very seriously. And to those people that continue to gaslight or to act in uncivil manners, my prayers are with you, because that's what it takes, is prayer. And darkness can't hide in the light. And so where there is light, darkness will not exist anymore. And we are moving forward as a city. And I'm thankful for this city. I'm thankful for the people that are up here. City Attorney Bivens is one of the highest regarded people that I know. And he speaks from his heart, and he makes decisions based upon data and facts. And the fact, and one of the things he said was mercy or grace. You operate in grace, and that's what we all need to operate in. And I also want to just wish everybody during this Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, holiday season, just to be kind to one another and to show love. Thank you, Mr. President.
Very nicely said, Ms. Elmore. Ms. Coniston.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for viewing. I want to thank so many people that have given me thanks. And congratulations for my daughter is expecting twins. We're going to have 2 new grandsons entering the family. So the boys are now going to outnumber the girls, is what I put on there. For now, that's right. Growing family. Yesterday was the last night of Hanukkah. One of the things that I always put during the 8 days of Hanukkah is to make sure that you let your light shine brightly. I feel like each one of us has a light inside of us, so everything that everybody said today is just beautiful, and your lights are shining brightly. I think it's important for us to show kindness and show empathy, and the things that I heard tonight just proves what a wonderful community that we do live in. I'm so proud when I get to go by City Hall and I see the large menorah and I see the nativity scene, and it just makes me so proud to see the inclusiveness that this community does offer and have. And tonight just, it brings me joy to hear this. It brings me sorrow too, to hear that there's negative comments that are going on out there. I'm not gonna lie, I did step away probably even a couple years ago from going a whole lot on social media because a lot of the negative comments. I continue to let my light shine brightly and going on there and making sure that I put as much positive energy that I possibly can on the community, my friends and my family. We should never, ever poke fun even at somebody's name or somebody's family or somebody's friends. I've been always told that you should treat everyone the way that you would treat your family, your grandmother, your mother. You should treat everybody with that same consistency. If we all just did that, what a beautiful place we would all live in. So thank you for letting me get on my soapbox for a moment, and thank you again for shining your light on me.
Ms. Coniston, thank you. Very well said. Mr. Cantor.
Wow. You know what they say, the view never changes from the rear, and when you're last like I am right now, it's tough. Thank you all for coming. I see some people that haven't been in here. Thank you so much. You're what makes our community. That's why I've lived here 58 years, with the exception being the 8 years that I was in the United States Army, which this morning I actually watched the Pearl Harbor ceremonies. Now, Mr. Rodriguez down here will tell you that I served at Pearl Harbor, but I'm not quite that old. I'm a little bit younger than that, so.
It was on Facebook, and you know.
I understand. You can't believe everything that you see on social media. I have seen quite a bit of stuff written on social media the last couple of weeks. It's ridiculous, and it's gut wrenching. It's to hurt. Words hurt, especially when you're in a community that you know who is saying things like this. That somebody calls and says, "Hey, look what was said," or "Go to such and such and see what they say," and they say something about you or your family or your kids. Mr. Bailey, what you said was phenomenal. Mr. Rodriguez, great. Lori Elmore, you're always on. The Mayor, you did wonders. I love serving up here with you, as I do everybody up here. Mr. Bivens, I've known you for over 10 years. I've known your wife and your family. I think the first time I saw you, we were at a track meet. I saw a girl running out there in the field.
Yeah.
He said she was running like a gazelle. I go, who in the hell are you talking about? Her! You can stand up if you want to.
Yeah, just embarrass her more.
Yeah, I love your family. You have a wonderful family. You know how I feel about you. I have speaking with you today. I'm sorry when people say things, and it's a shame that people do say things like this. We live in Whitehall. We're a diversified community. My daughter goes to Whitehall Yearling High School, and I'm proud of that. My siblings went there. 5 of 6 of my 6 kids have went there. So I'm very proud of where we live and what we do and what we've accomplished in the last 10 to 12 years. It's been a really, really good ride, and I know that it's not going to stop. We have good people up here. We have good people coming on, and we're going to continue, and we're going to be focused. So thank you all for coming. You're what really makes us up here, and we can't do it without you. So Karen Coniston, this is the first year that I didn't see your vest, but I did see it in a place last Friday night. We had a ceremony at Kelly on the Green, a new tradition. You know, I know we always did it out here at City Hall, and it was like this. You couldn't move. My daughters, and I got there at 20 till 6. We left at 5 till 7. We were cold. We had a good time. I kept watching this train go round and round and round. And this train, there was lots of people on it. I saw the kids in the arts and crafts doing their little crafts. And that was the only warm place other than up if you had to go to the restroom. It was a good crowd. It was a really good crowd. It was a bigger crowd there than what we've had here. I see people say that there was nobody there. But the one individual that's saying this, he's never been here. I know this individual. So I thank you all for being up here. I thank you all for coming. God bless this country. God bless our city. I love you girls. Daddy will be home soon. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Cantor. Well, I'm actually the very tail end of that caboose, so I think that the comments made by the mayor and my fellow council members were very poignant, spot on, and deeply appreciated, and I thank each and every one of you for those. I'd also like to thank everybody for coming out this evening, and again, as Mr. Cantor said, it's great seeing new faces and people coming back. We're here every week. And love to see you continue to come because it's great to get new folks involved with the city. That's the lifeblood, and we're newbies at one point, and that's what it takes to keep things going. So your presence is appreciated, as well as the folks watching from home. That is the only comments I have got.
Second.
Move to adjourn.
Go ahead.
Okay, so who
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Move to adjourn.
okay, all right. A motion by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Ms. Elmore to adjourn. Any discussion? Okay. Ms. Aug, please call roll.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Cantor.
Yes.
And we are adjourned at 7:43.
These are